Rest. Miami has the pride and attitude of a champion. There's Washington with the muscle of the nation's top defense. Michigan has the finesse of Desmond Howard. And Florida State with the leadership of Casey Weldon. Tonight, Texas A&M will display all those qualities to the nation in the hope of taking their place among the chosen ones. From Kyle Field in College Station, Texas, the Texas Aggies try to secure a spot in the Cotton Bowl as Arkansas comes to town for the final time as a member of the Southwest Conference. And thank goodness there is no wet stuff falling tonight. First time for us in several weeks. Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Franklin. Welcome once again to CFA Primetime Football here on ESPN. Well, it's very simple for the Aggies. A win tonight over Arkansas, and they clinch at least a tie for the Southwest Conference title, closer to a trip to the Cotton Bowl. And for Arkansas, maybe a little nostalgic tonight. They came into conference in 1914. This is the last trip that they'll make into College Station as a member of the Southwest Conference. In fact, we talked to a member of both teams about this being the last stop for the Razorbacks.
This is our last shot at Arkansas for a while, and we want to prove to them that you can get every bit of competition in this league as you can in the other one.
I don't think we're really worried about the Cotton Bowl right now. There's a lot of things that have to happen for us to get into the Cotton Bowl. So we're the spoiler, and we'll do anything we can, to beat A&M.
Now for Arkansas tonight, some big changes on offense. Mike Gottfried is with us as usual on the telecast. He will explain why and what those changes are.
Thanks, Ron. Tonight you're going to see the Arkansas offense switch from the I offense, which they've run since August, to the wishbone offense, making the switch in 1 week. Because of injuries to their quarterback, Jason Allen, the personnel best fits the wishbone, and they want to shorten the game. The other side of the coin is they're going against a Texas A&M defense that's used to blitzing and making big plays with their defensive football team. The Arkansas offense will kind of keep them back on their heels as they run the option to the outside backers, Otis Neely and Marcus Buckley. They'll be responsible for the quarterback. Quentin Coriat up inside won't be able to blitz as much as he has in the past, and it'll be an interesting ball game with this switch by the Arkansas coaches. Now out in the field to Adrian Karsten.
Well, Mike, the entire student section is on their feet, and they'll remain standing for all 4 quarters, ready to play in case they're called. Since 1921, that's been the tradition of the 12th man. Tonight, 70 years later, 70,000 fans are part of this team, sharing in the spirit of Aggie land.
Brought to you by Wrangler, the most comfortable jeans known to man. By Napa, because there are no unimportant parts. And by ESPN Home Video, producers and distributors of fantastic football plays. To order, call 1-800-662-1400. White Spirit Towels of Texas A&M are waving en masse at Kyle Field, and we are just about set to kick this one off. As the Arkansas Razorbacks, and you look at the standings, 4-2 behind the Texas Aggies, who are perfect in the Southwest Conference race. Texas with 2 losses, Baylor and Texas Tech with 3 apiece. So the last time that the Arkansas Razorbacks will come through College Station, yet they do have one more stop. They still have SMU to play, and then they head on to the SEC. Ronald Dickerson is the deep man. Venetoulias, you can see an upside-down look at him, who has not only been a surprise, but a very pleasant surprise for the Texas Aggies this year. There is a look at Ron Dickerson. In fact, it's Ron Dickerson, Jr. You might remember we talked quite a bit about his father, who is the defensive coordinator for Clemson. This one will go out of the back of the end zone. And now, let's check the Energizer starting lineups for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Gary Peanut Adams will go at quarterback tonight. He was signed on and brought to school as a wishbone quarterback, so that's how we'll see him tonight. The one wide receiver, Tracy Caldwell, the good one-on-one man. Look for him tonight when Arkansas does throw. And the young man that has his hands full tonight is 75, Chris Oliver. Chris is out of Fayetteville, and he will have the duty of trying to block against freshman sensation Sam Adams. First play, and Arkansas comes out in the wishbone. Sherwin Price gets the ball and also gets one of the Aggies as soon as he gets the ball. Henry was there. Sam Adams, a freshman. He has absolutely been unbelievable. Number 95. The linebackers, he's the rush man normally. Buckley will see how his situation has changed tonight against this run-style offense by the Razorbacks. And Patrick Bakes out of Galveston, Texas. He looks like a linebacker. He's 6'4" and weighs 235 and runs like a defensive back. Adams, 5, counted off at 10. And just like that, Arkansas has moved the sticks, and they also have taken some time off the clock with the initial first down. Mike?
Well, Arkansas is moving to the wishbone this week. They met on Sunday, the coaches. They put the names of their players on the board, and they decided to go to the wishbone. Jack Crow felt it gave his team the best chance to win. The negative is that with a week practice, you lay the ball on the ground a little bit turnover-wise, you can get out of this game quick. But I think it's a good move for them. They're 96th in the country in total offense coming in this game. This can only help them.
It's hard to say by looking at that graphic. You can tell one of the reasons they wanted to make the change. From an I formation, E.D. Jackson takes it straight ahead. E.D. had a great game against the Aggies last year.
Here's why you switch gears. Try to surprise A&M. They're such a great football team. Counteract A&M's blitz, big play defense. Make them play option responsibility football. The Arkansas personnel fits the bone. And then move the clock and take the crowd out of the game. That's the reason for the switch.
Price straight ahead, and number 25 will not have very much there. As you see the entire center of that front, Henry and Lance Teichelman, who is a sophomore out of Austin, Texas, down at the bottom of the stack, and also Correa.
Ron, A&M the last 3 weeks has played Houston, run and shoot team. Rice, one-back passing football team. TCU, a one-back team. This defense really is predicated on big plays. Now, the wishbone, the way they'll have to get their big plays is smacking the quarterback, Gary Adams, and trying to cause turnovers on the option.
You see they split out of the bone. Number 2 is Dickerson. He is slot to the right side. Pressure from the back. Adams is down, and that is Marcus Buckley.
That's an early reason why they want to be in the wishbone most of the time. They went to a one-back set. Watch Marcus Buckley come from the backside. They can't handle Marcus Buckley. Just too quick off the ball and off the line of scrimmage and beating the offensive tackle.
Pete Rather is the punter for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Smith is the deep man. He is dropped off between the 35 and the 40. This one's going to take a big Arkansas roll as it came away from Smith. So let's meet the starters on offense for Texas A&M. The guy who gets it done, number 7, Bucky Richardson at quarterback. Now behind him, as far as the wide receivers, number 18, Brian Mitchell. Only a freshman, but he really is a dazzler right now, and I think before it's all said and done, you remember this young fella. Dowson, the center, extremely important for the Aggies. He was injured last week, almost did not see action against TCU. Very important that he stay healthy with that injured ankle. He makes the defensive calls. Well, Greg Hill almost got ahead of himself. Ball goes on the turf. And while we have a moment, let's meet the starters on defense for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Mackenzie Phillips, his father was a great one at Arkansas, and he has filled right in. A big fella out of Springdale, Arkansas. Now, at linebacker, there's a change in the middle. Ty Mason will start there, replacing Thomas. Ty may be a little bit better against stopping the run, and Curtis Banks leads them in interceptions in the secondary with 3. Option play for the Aggies. Richardson will take it for about 4 yards. And the man we were just talking about, Ty Mason, who is in the middle, is there to make the stop. And now a little excitement between Bucky Richardson and the Arkansas defense.
Ron, what A&M will try to do on offense is spread the defense out of Arkansas. They're a 4-3 defense. They'll try to go to some one-back sets to try to remove a linebacker. This is the same defense Miami runs. Everybody kind of goes with the winner, and Arkansas has developed a 4-3 with 2 deep coverage.
This is a 3rd down, and they need the 40-yard line. Texas A&M has a string. It goes all the way back to Arkansas last year that they have scored on their opening possession. Richardson running for his life, gets it away, and he had him open and missed him. So Texas A&M is going to have to punt, and this will break a string of 11 games, actually, Mike, that they had scored on their opening possession. So a moral battle as far as the Razorbacks are concerned.
Well, it's a moral win for them, and now if they can get back in the wishbone and try to milk the clock and get some yardage and try to move the sticks and try to take this crowd out of the game with that kind of play, then they feel like they have a shot.
That thing is going to go out of bounds at the 3-yard line. 72 yards on the punt by David Davis. Let's take a break. Line, as Mike pointed out, a moral victory for them. But then David Davis comes back and 72-yard punt. His longest had been 59. So now a 72-yarder in the Razorbacks way back in their own territory. Adams will keep it. He'll take it out for about 5 yards. That's Patrick Bates, who comes up from his free safety spot. Let me change one thing I said earlier. I said they still had SMU to play. They have the Rice Owls left on their schedule, and then they will be done as far as football in the Southwest Conference and on to the SEC.
And that won't be a picnic for them going to the SEC. It'll be a tough road to hoe. What Arkansas is doing in this first 2 series is giving Texas A&M an unbalanced line and coming back to the weak side with the option.
Tony Jeffrey smacked at the line of scrimmage, may have gotten the 10-yard line, but Sam Adams, one of the first men to get there, the freshman right out of high school from Cypress Creek. That's just outside of Houston.
Well, a player really made a big hit here was Quentin Coriat, number 44. Watch him step up and take on this power play. There's the blocker. Now he lets off. Number 95, Sam Adams, makes the tackle. That's how you meet the fullback.
Sam's father played for 13 years with the New England Patriots, and I think a lot rubbed off on him. Adams fakes the pitch, gonna be close to the first down. And from the mark that they have made, as Atkinson got outside to make the hit, he is very close.
Toughest thing on a defensive player when you played against teams that pass the football, all of a sudden, Ron, you have these backs chopping around your feet. You've got linemen blocking low, and you have to play the option. So Texas A&M's not used to this. 3 weeks they've been pass blocked. The ball's been thrown against them, but now they have people at their feet, and they can't blitz. You can't blitz the option. You can take some chances, but if you get in man coverage in the secondary and your receiver runs you off, then you have a chance for a big play. So I look for a lot of zone and to try to play the option with a base front.
I was watching Buckley 2 plays ago, and normally he is the man if they turn free, the linebacker on that side. But he had a tight end on him, and he had somebody down around his ankles. And you're right, it's a totally different situation from what he's accustomed to.
It's a good point you make because he's always used to being on the split inside. Now he has somebody on him tonight.
Oh, pressure in the middle. Good heavens, Coriat is there almost as quickly as the handoff was made to Bradley. Wow. And Freddie Bradley, by the way, is the 3rd tailback that...
Dead ball. False start. Offense.
For a minute there, I thought we were hearing the national anthem in Yankee Stadium. He's the 3rd tailback that they have used, or running back in that one position. So Arkansas showing that they're deep and they're not afraid to use a number of people back there on this new offense.
They have used a lot of people in the backfield, and of course now they have to move Ron Dickerson back with the wishbone. But you see that on that play they were running the eye. With a week's preparation, you're going to see some penalties. You're going to see some movement because they have a whole offense built in 1 week.
Adams slips down. Again, it was Coriat who was applying the pressure. You could see Teichelman there as well, number 58.
What you have to do on defense against the wishbone is you turn the fullback over to your front people, your defensive tackles, your nose guard, occasionally a backer. Then you turn the quarterback over to the outside linebackers, and then you take the pitch man out of the secondary with the strong safety or corner. Then you change up so that they don't get a pattern on you how you're trying to defend the option.
It is second down, and the line to make is out to the 24-yard line. Adams gets ripped apart by Atkinson again, and he is going to be knocked down inside the 5 at around the 4.
Here you're going to see the wishbone. Now watch the linebacker scrape off. There's the fake to the fullback. You see Jason Atkinson, number 43, come off, and he has the quarterback on this play. He makes the tackle. Again, you have to play assignment football. You have to really be mistake-free against the wishbone so the ball doesn't pop out on you for a big play.
Arkansas elects to keep it on the ground. And 22, Freddie Bradley will run right into Coriat, who is there along with Atkinson again. And a standing ovation for the Aggie defense.
Arkansas felt they had to win the kicking game. And now, as you see Arkansas set the punt, 2 possibilities of the block, but you have an excellent chance for a good return and good field position.
His first effort tonight was 46 yards, and the Aggies putting pressure up the middle on him. Not a good kick, and it is going to come out of bounds at the 36-yard line. So we'll take a break. 6:38 left in the opening quarter. A&M and Arkansas, no score. 6:38 left in the opening quarter, and the Aggies on offense only for the second time. So one of the things, even for Arkansas people to say that wishbone's not working, they have kept the ball away from the Aggies so far. Greg Hill. Kirk Collins comes up and makes the hit on him.
Ron, you're right. Coach Jack Crow talked about it. He'd like to have the weather and the wishbone take the crowd out of the game. Well, the weather's nice. And then he made the statement, either 40 minutes or 40 points. He said, I don't think I can get to 40 points, but I'm hoping I can get 40 minutes out of my offense.
Yeah, Jack said yesterday afternoon, he said, I hope it just storms like the Dickens and everybody stays home. Get the crowd out of it. Good hit at the line of scrimmage by Ray Lee Johnson, a junior out of Fordyce, Arkansas. And, of course, every time Greg Hill carries the football, it adds to a freshman record in the Southwest Conference. He broke that record, which was held by Earl Campbell last Thursday night in our game that we televised against TCU. He is over 1,000 yards, and obviously the first freshman to do that in the conference.
He's exciting, Ron, and when you have a running back like Greg Hill, that means in the I formation, and you have a good fullback, blocking fullback, and Doug Carter, number 32, and a strong offensive line. But Greg Hill is a fine freshman running back.
They come option to the short side of the field. Richardson breaks off a tackle, and because of that, he will have the first down at the 21. Curtis Banks is there.
Texas A&M put the formation to the field, and they have an unbalanced line to this side. The left side, he's going to come to. Watch the fake of the option. He had only one decision, was to duck it up inside where Curtis Banks made the tackle after Bucky Richardson gets the first down.
That's the initial first down of the night for Texas A&M at the 5:13 mark. Hill again. Hit at the line of scrimmage this time. And that Arkansas defense raises up and said, nope, we're going to give you a little trouble. That's Owen Kelly. He's a junior out of Wichita Falls, number 91.
What Arkansas is doing with their down lineman is moving around. Watch Henry Ford, number 92, go inside and take on the block of the fullback, Doug Carter, number 32. For Arkansas to have success, they have to move those front four inside, outside, try to confuse the offensive line of A&M.
Wants to throw back on the screen, and Richardson very wisely just throws it away. You could see Henry Ford, number 92, Mike, coming into the picture, and he's the one that fouled up the entire works.
Well, he did. He had a real fast rush on Bucky Richardson, but they played the screen all the way. There was somebody sitting back waiting for the screen to be thrown, and Bucky Richardson wisely threw the ball away.
It is now third down. No, they have not changed that as yet because there is a flag down.
Ineligible receiver downfield on the offense.
I think because he threw the ball downfield and didn't throw it behind the line of scrimmage, that's the reason the penalty's called. Because they had a screen on, and the receiver was behind the line of scrimmage.
Exactly what happened, so it is second down again. Well, he wanted his tight end, and Bucky with not a very good read on that one. And Sharp was the guy he was looking for, and he overthrew everybody. So now it's third down.
We'll show you as the game goes along and moves how Arkansas plays the two-deep coverage, and they force everything inside. For you to have some success throwing the ball against two-deep coverage, you need routes that come to the inside, and you need routes behind the linebackers and in front of the two deep safeties who are about 15 yards deep.
Aggies need the 11-yard line. Richardson knocked out of bounds at the 24-yard line by Darwin Ireland. And now A&M goes for the field goal here. Benetoulias is going to be attempting one of in the neighborhood of 41 yards, and he does have the wind behind him from here. Young man is 10 of 15 on field goals this year. His longest, 44.
And that's a pretty good defense by the Arkansas front and secondary to hold A&M, who had real good field position to just a field goal attempt.
High pass, and he knocks it through. The Aggies are on the scoreboard. So it's 4:08 left to play, opening quarter. Texas A&M 3 and Arkansas nothing as Benetoulias makes it good. Just with the field goal, he's good. That is his 11th of the year. Now 11 of 16 and 68 points for the youngster. Again, Ron Dickerson is going to be the deep man as you look at Benetoulias. Aggies on top, 3-0. Dickerson at the goal line. Well, it's time now for a weekly presentation of the Toyota Leadership Award. Today's winners are from the University of Arkansas, Mark Henry, a senior from Little Rock. Mark makes hospital visitations around the Fayetteville community and is involved in the Athletic Speakers Bureau. He's also a member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And from Texas A&M University, Seth Dockery, a graduate student from Cameron, Texas. He is a program chairman of Keene Residence Hall, a member of the National Society of Black Engineers, and a delegate to the Southwest Black Student Leadership Conference. Toyota, pleased to donate $1,000 to each player's school's General Scholarship Fund. Well, Mike, we talked during the timeout, and what they have just done is what you were mentioning that Arkansas was going to have to do to make this wishbone successful, and that is get the fullback through there.
Have to get the fullback established, because that'll establish then the quarterback, Gary Adams, and then the pitch to Ron Dickerson. But if you're Jack Crow, you really have to be concerned about your field position. You really started in the hole every time you've had the football. He needs to get the ball out so he can try some reverses and then let Gary Adams throw some play-action passes.
Well, this time it's Chris Kirby, hit by Mark Wheeler. And that time, just as they lined up, and that may be an Arkansas first down from where they've spotted it. Even though they're deep in their own territory and in this run formation for the most part, that's the safety would look like a center fielder for A&M. They're going to make sure they don't get one dropped on them.
Well, Patrick Bates will just shuffle. He'll make a move side to side before he commits himself, because he knows there's always a chance of a post pattern, the one wide receiver running a post behind him. So he's an extra linebacker, but a little slower moving up the field.
Adams with the pitch. That's Dickerson, the wide receiver. Ball is loose. A&M is recovered.
Well, you have two plays where you establish the fullback. That opens up the option. But I said earlier, when you only practice for 1 week on an offense, sometimes you have a tendency to put it on the ground. Here's the pitch to Ron Dickerson. Now he's open, almost picking. He just dropped the football. And the one thing that they can't afford is turnovers against this A&M defense.
Bates with the hit, and Coriat made the recovery. Greg Hill behind that huge offensive line of A&M. Wesley and Harrison, he was running behind that time. And it's Mason from his middle linebacking position to make the hit.
Well, the 4-3 defense that Arkansas runs really stacks up well against the A&M offense, the I offense. And the middle linebacker is the linebacker Ty Mason, number 46. Shouldn't be blocked, Ron. Should be able to move up and down the line of scrimmage and make some tackles on the I attack. They have to double the down lineman.
The fullback. Kirk Collins comes up to make the stick, but not before he has 17 yards.
Bob Toledo, the offensive coordinator, gives a different formation to Arkansas. They put two tight ends together, and then they ran their version of the wishbone offense to give to the fullback Doug Carter up inside the first read of the option. He broke into the secondary. Finally, Kirk Collins, number 29, makes the tackle.
Greg Hill tries to bounce it outside, and Arkansas showing some good lateral quickness as Collins and Banks are there.
What you try to do to a great back like Greg Hill is make him work laterally. Here, watch the block of Doug Carter, number 32. You need a good fullback. There you see Greg Hill stick it in, and he came back outside trying to make something happen. Kirk Collins again, number 29, makes the tackle.
Richardson with the play fake, and he just takes it right up into the hole. Shackman and Ty Mason, 46 and 47 for Arkansas. There to make the tackle, but they're going to put the ball down and squarely in the 5-yard line. It'll be third down A&M and about 2.5 yards to go.
See Bob Toledo with the sheet in front of him. He's making the calls. Played at San Francisco State. He was a quarterback under Vic Rowan, an outstanding college coach. Bucky Richardson faked the option and just followed the fullback. Became an extra ball carrier on that last play.
Hill straight ahead, and he's not going to be close to the first down. Owen Kelly took his feet out from under him as the Arkansas defensive front submarine right there. And Mike, I think he's got to go for a field goal here, don't you?
I think
he's got about 2 yards left.
What happened in the play, Ron, I agree with you. He has to kick the field goal. But Owen Kelly was in the guard and center gap, and he got up the football field and was able to make the play in the backfield before Greg Hill could even get started. Another good defensive surge by Arkansas's defense.
22-yard attempt by Venetoulias this time. Knocks it through. And with that, the end of the first quarter. So our new score as we head to the second period of play, Texas A&M 6 and Arkansas nothing on the strength of Terry Venetoulias and his 22-yard field goal. Nothing the Aggies. Terry Venetoulias then fell out of Deer Park, which is just east of Houston, Texas. Knocked them both home, and he will handle the kickoff choice. Now the 12th man on this trip down will be Jay Elliott. He simply wears number 12. In the past, they have used entire units, 10 men besides the kicker. R.C. Slocum is elected to go with one on each kickoff return. This is Dickerson, number 2. Dickerson breaks it up the middle and takes it out to the 40-yard line. Tim Brando, let's get the first report from you this evening. What's going on?
We're going to take you to San Jose, Ron, with the score tied at 35. Watch Jeff Delsey dump it to Maceo Barbosa. Time is running out with the game tied, and the Spartans are moving in for what would apparently be the winning field goal. But here, Joe Nedney. never gets the chance. Off the bad snap on 4th down, game ends in a tie. On November the 30th, Notre Dame will visit the Rainbows, who are now 4-5-1.
Thank you, Tim. This is the best starting field position that the Razorbacks have had, far and away. Elvin Lindblad, our stat man, was telling us during the break that the average was the 12-yard line for Arkansas. And Mike, boy, against the defense like Texas A&M, that's murder.
Oh, if you're calling plays for Arkansas, as Jack Crow is doing tonight, that's murder. You start out at your own 4-yard line, 12-yard line, and 20-yard line. Now you have some flexibility. You can throw the football, and you can run a reverse to try to slow down the pursuit of A&M.
Boy, what a stick by Mark Wheeler at the line of scrimmage. Mike, you might go a little further and talk about what the Aggies have done as far as bringing another man to the line of scrimmage. It's almost like a 5-man front now that they're running.
Well, you're exactly right. Usually they'll be in a 4-man front, but now because they're playing a wishbone team, they're in a true 50 defense. They're both their strong safety and their corner to the tight end side, about 5 yards off the ball, so they're really in a strong run defense.
Overthrown as he was looking for E.D. Jackson, and he had him open. Gary Adams just got it a little too high. Gary is a junior out of Springfield, Missouri, who's recruited as a wishbone quarterback. And with the move this week, of course, that's the reason they brought him forward. So Pete Rather will come on and kick it again for the Razorbacks. Kevin Smith is back deep. Smith at the 10-yard line with a fair catch. Well, after this game, we're going to take you out to San Diego's Jack Murphy Stadium for the wax battle for first place between Ty Detmer's BYU Cougars and the San Diego State Aztecs. Holiday Bowl berth is on the line tonight, 10:30. It'll be a fun ball game to watch.
I think that's going to be a good game. Sean McDonough and Craig James going to be out there doing that game. I like San Diego State to upset BYU tonight.
You said that earlier today, and I asked you if you'd say that on the air, and you said, yeah, you thought that the Aztecs had the momentum going.
They match up well. They'll run a 46 defense, and I think they match up with the receivers well. They'll be able to play a lot of man coverage, and I think Patrick Rowe is one of the best receivers I've seen all year.
It's Chapman who came up to knock down Hill.
Number 16,
Greg is out close to the 20-yard line. They're going to spot him at around the 18. Greg Switzer has just checked into the lineup, number 53. He is the son of Barry Switzer, longtime coach at Oklahoma. In fact, Barry's right down the way. We've visited with him before the ballgame. He is a color analyst on the Arkansas Network.
I asked him about coaching. I'll come back in a second to his answer.
Oh, what a great job. There's Switzer making the tackle as Greg Hill did an excellent job of coming off one tackle.
Watch Greg Switzer, 53, come off the block of the tight end, Greg Sharp. Come back and make the play on Greg Hill. Barry Switzer was telling me he doesn't want anything to do with coaching. He says enjoy himself. He's going bird hunting in 2 days. He said, why do I want to coach? I'm going bird hunting, enjoying life.
Richardson with the option across the 30 out to the 32-yard line. Mick Thomas in at middle linebacker, number 48. Senior out of Bakersfield, California. Comes up to make the stop on Bucky Richardson.
Barry won a lot of games at Oklahoma, Ron, and always, when I was at Kansas, I enjoyed coaching against him. He was a gentleman, and I really enjoyed the 3 years in the conference with him. I think a lot of him.
Hill with the carry, will have the first down, and he steps out of bounds across the 40-yard line. Kirk Collins is out there to knock him out of bounds. Doug Carter with an excellent block on the play. Here's the storyline brought to you by the U.S. Army. Time of possession This is just what Coach Crow wanted, but he wants some points to go with the time of possession for the average start. Arkansas on their own 12, A&M at their own 46.
I think what you're going to have to see Arkansas do is throw on first down or reverse on first down. Give their quarterback an opportunity to be successful on first down. Don't wait till third down and throw.
Richardson. Oh, the crowd loves it. Bucky, instead of getting out of bounds, stopped and put his shoulder down, and he knocked down the defensive players. The Aggie faithful love it.
I said last week about Bucky Richardson. He reminds you of a Tom Matte who used to play at Ohio State and then went into the pros with a Baltimore coach and was a running back. Watch Bucky Richardson lower his shoulder on number 47, Chapman, and just lower the boom on him. Bucky Richardson's a winner. He's just, as a starter here, he's 21-5-1.
He just broke the Southwest Conference all-time rushing record for a quarterback. Marty Akins of Texas had held that record. At last scramble, did it for Bucky Richardson. Chapman is there this time to stop 27, Greg Hill.
The movement inside that the Arkansas front, Owen Kelly, number 91, and Mackenzie Phillips, number 70. They're moving just before the snap of the ball, causing some problems for the Texas A&M offensive line, and that's why they're having success stopping the run. Joe Kynes, the defensive coordinator of Arkansas, used to be at the University of Florida.
1 of 4 on third down conversions for the Aggies. They need the ball just across the 50. Intercepted, nowhere close, and Curtis Banks with his 4th pickoff of the year for the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Well, Bucky would like to have that one back. Number 7 knows he made a mistake. Here you see Bucky Richardson dropping back, has his tight end over the middle, just throws the ball a little too high, and Curtis Banks, number 23, picks the ball off. Now, if you're Arkansas and you're calling those plays, first down has to be a down where you try to make something happen with the reverse, with a pass to the wide receiver, or with Gary Adams in some kind of play-action pass.
Adams, and look out. I'll tell you, the guy who made the stop is Bates, and he was the last guy there because everybody was pinching the line of scrimmage.
They're coming in on the fullback. And Patrick Bates, number 29, the free safety, took his shuffle steps and moved up inside and made the tackle on Gary Adams, who kept the ball in the option.
See Chris Crooms, number 6, senior out of Baytown Lee, talking it over with Patrick Bates, and he probably was saying just that. Hey, what happened to us? What happened is everybody got caught crowding a little bit.
Ron, to this point, even though they're behind 6-0, the Arkansas strategy of moving on Sunday night and making a decision to go to the wishbone has been effective because they're in this game. I don't believe they'd be in this game right now if they were a one-back attack or an eye offense as they played last week. And the move of Gary Adams to the starting quarterback, an option quarterback, gives them a chance. It's very important that they come away with some type of points, scores in this series. Rushing yardage, you see A&M has 73 yards. Arkansas 47 yards, but they're giving the defense some problems, and they're running the clock.
Adams goes straight ahead. He'll have the first down as Atkinson. I don't know what that was all about as he was away from the play, driving somebody into the backfield. I think the last point that you just made, we'll get in just a second. Let's go down to Adrian Karsten for an update. Adrian.
Well, Ron, Greg Madison, the A&M defensive line coach, really proud of his group. The first couple of defensive series, he said, you guys are stopping the wishbone, something we really did not expect to see. So he said after the first defensive series, let's start to stun a little bit, start playing our game. Interestingly enough, during that series when they stunted, Arkansas picked up 20 yards. During the other 3 series, they gained a total of 9.
Look how many people, 9 people within 2 yards of the line of scrimmage, Mike, when they lined up. Now this is not going to work. Somebody's got to go back to the drawing board.
That's where I feel like on first down, that's your reverse down, that's your play action pass down, that's where you fake to the fullback, come down the line of scrimmage, then come off, and either throw to the tight end or the wide receiver. See Jack Crow, he calls the offensive plays. He's very familiar with option football. He's been at Clemson, Arkansas. He knows the option game.
Kahihilo on the last carry. He's out of Tulsa. Straight ahead. There you can see the headgear popping here. Freddie Bailey gets knocked back. It's Curriott, number 44. And now it's going to be third down Arkansas. And the point I was going to make is the clock now is at 9 minutes and 30 seconds. That's all we have left until halftime. Right now, we only kicked this ball game off about 43 minutes ago, so it is being, that part of it is working as well as far as the clock. But your point is, Arkansas has done the other two things right, but now they got to get some points.
See, I'd stay in the wishbone on third down. Now, they may have some success here, but this is what A&M likes to play against. Here's the reverse.
This is Dickerson. Picks up the block, and he is down inside the 30. Not going to be enough. About 2 yards shy.
Talked about his father. His father's a gentleman. He's the defensive coordinator at Clemson, very knowledgeable football coach. Coached at Penn State for many years, coached at the University of Pittsburgh. And I know he's proud of number 2, Ron Dickerson.
Had a chance to visit with him yesterday, talk with him about his father. As Todd Wright comes on, and he will attempt a 45-yard field goal. His longest is 40. Got the distance, and he's good. Wright with his longest field goal this year, 45 yards, and let's take a break. Our new score, A&M 6, Arkansas 3. Kyle Field, College Station, Texas. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Adrian Karsten. You can see those flags at the top of the stadium whipping pretty good. And that's the wind behind Lance Ellison as he kicks it off for the Razorbacks. And this one is going to go about 6 yards deep in the end zone. We'll be sure and catch all the NFL action on Sunday on ESPN. Join Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, and Joe Theismann for the most comprehensive preview show on television. It's NFL Game Day at noon tomorrow. And it's the best recap in television on NFL primetime at 7 o'clock only on ESPN. And then ESPN's coverage of Sunday Night Football continues tomorrow night just right down the road from us as the Cleveland Browns travel to Houston to take on the Central Division leading Oilers led by Warren Moon. Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann. And guys, I hope you're watching along with Fred Gaudelli tonight. Look forward to your game at 8 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow evening from the Astrodome. Greg Hill gets smacked pretty good by Darwin Ireland as he puts it up in the hole. Mike, you know, the interesting thing about what A&M is, or what Arkansas has done tonight with this offense, just 5 years ago, this was an option conference. Not necessarily wishbone anymore, but it was run, run, run. And in that short period of time, this has become one of the most wide-open conferences in the country. Now, the Aggies are having to revert. They're having to go back and look at something they haven't seen as much of.
Well, you're so right, Ron. In 5 years, this thing has completely changed around now to be a league where you have run and shoot, run-back offenses.
And Bucky Richardson.
Spreading out.
And Bucky Richardson. The individual effort, and there's one of the reasons that A&M can give you so much trouble. They can run pass, they can run option, and they can run power. That time, the option.
They have, when I watched them practice the other day, they have so much offense. Bob Toledo, you're going to see the counter option. Watch the backside guard, number 55, Tyler Harrison, pull. Now Bucky Richardson's up inside. There's the block by number 55, Tyler Harrison. Watch him jump over, make yardage, and he made his yardage on the option play.
Bucky now an average of 7 yards per try. 49 yards for him on 7 carries. Greg Hill. 99, Ray Lee Johnson steps up into the hole to make the tackle. Also, you can see Long coming over.
I made a point about Bucky Richardson. Because he's a senior and because he's so experienced, Bob Toledo can run so many formations and do so many things on offense because he has an experienced quarterback. He makes a lot of changes at the line of scrimmage. Now right here, he's going to give a one-back set. He's going to check off either to a power play to the tight end or a toss sweep to the left.
Scott Long defensively steps up. 6-3 if you just joined us. Just under 6.5 minutes left until halftime. 14 carries, 35 yards for Greg Hill.
He's earned those 35 yards. just talking about Bucky Richardson. They give him so much freedom at the line of scrimmage. He's looking at the middle linebacker, number 46, Ty Mason, and doing a lot of his checkoffs to what side he goes, depending where 46 lines up.
And now Bucky Richardson wants to call a timeout. So let's take it with him. Aggies 6, Razorbacks 3. We'll be back to Kyle Field after this. Only 6:06 left until halftime. Are you surprised so far at the way this thing has unfolded?
I felt it could go this way if Arkansas didn't turn the ball over. Now I think what A&M has to do is they're running the option with some success, is they may want to throw the play action off of the option. You see Jack Crow, this game's going just like he wants it to go right now.
Carter, the fullback. Ty Mason from his middle linebacking spot, number 46, there to make the stop. And that's not going to be enough. It's going to be 4th down, Mike.
You saw the two tight ends move and change, and the reason Texas A&M did that is because Arkansas switches their linebackers to strength.
Now David Davis, who had a 72-yard kick, is going to have to kick into that gale force wind. Want to make sure you get the spiral to turn over under these conditions. Know what he does. This is a beautiful kick. With or without the wind, and it barely goes into the end zone. Let's go down to Adrian Karsten following that 49-yard punt.
Ron, very interesting story about a gentleman over my right shoulder. Mackenzie Phillips, starting defensive tackle. 5 years ago, as a high school senior in Arkansas, he suffered an asthmatic condition, was medically unconscious, considered dead for a period of 13 minutes. Taken to the hospital. That asthmatic condition, now he takes a rich mix of oxygen, has to use one of these, what we call breathalyzer, just takes a hit of that every once in a while. He started tonight, actually took last year off, says he's feeling much better tonight. The wind, he says, tends to help him in games like this.
Well, it's really beginning to blow right now, and he does look fresh. And as I mentioned off the top of the telecast, his daddy was a really, really fine football player at Arkansas. And the youngster has come right along in his footsteps. E.D. Jackson. Pat Henry has to finally put a stopper on him. That is the second longest run from scrimmage for Arkansas tonight, a gain of almost 10 yards.
Well, Bob Davie has a few problems tonight with this offense of Arkansas, because on first down they came out in the eye attack, so you have to be ready to get your substitutes in and try to balance up two different offenses. He's facing an eye, and the majority of the time he's facing the wishbone.
Arkansas and back-to-back plays. This time Tony Jeffrey weaving his way as Bates and Atkinson come over to make the stop. But right now that offensive line is doing their job.
Watch over this Neely 56 here. You're going to see the counter play. There's the initial block. There's Coriat moving up inside, gets blocked outside, and then the good gain by Tony Jeffrey. It's interesting. Otis Neely, number 56, was their head cheerleader for the last 3 weeks because they used a nickel defense and substituted for him. He didn't get to play much in the last few games.
Adams steps up into the hole and going to be stopped at the 45 by Buckley. And it's going to be second down Arkansas. They need about 4 yards.
They continually put pressure on the defense. They're now starting to feel a little bit of confidence because they're into the second quarter. They've had some pretty good plays with the offense, and they didn't start until Sunday night. Monday, they scrimmaged the whole day, 3-hour scrimmage to try to get themselves ready for this game in the wishbone.
4 minutes left until halftime. Coriat steps up into the hole. Also, England is there, and E.D. Jackson just didn't have much to go.
Boy, Quentin Coriat might be one of the top people in the draft, 6'4", 243. Watch him step up, number 44. I think he's as good a linebacker as I've seen all year. Make the tackle. He's going to play, I believe, in the Japan Bowl, and looks like may play in the Senior Bowl, which would be good for the pro coaches to get a look at him over in the Senior Bowl.
I hope he does. We're going to be down at the Senior Bowl. Adams tried to do it by himself, and Chris Crooms jumps up and makes the stop, and he is not going to have the first down. And Arkansas certainly not in a position to be gambling right here. with 3:05, now 3:04 left until halftime.
I think he has one decision, punt the football.
Yeah.
But he's taking a good close look whether he wants to go for it, and I think he's going to go for the first down. This is a gamble. Works, it's a great one.
I think he's going to try to draw him offside. I'd be surprised if they snap the ball, Mike. That's all he's doing. See the big head movement? That's all he was looking for.
Ron, there's a lot of coaching jobs open. You interested?
No. I do all my coaching right here. Timeout is called with 2:34 left until halftime, and we'll take the break with them. It is Aggies by 3. So there is no timeout. We will stay here for the 5-yard penalty and then watch the punt. You know, for the Aggie fans that are sitting there tonight saying, boy, the Aggies are just not getting it done tonight. It's almost like they came to the stadium, wanted to do the dance of today, the running man, and Arkansas is making them do the waltz.
Arkansas, it is a true waltz. There's nothing playing but slow music tonight.
Good heavens, what a kick. Smith runs away from it, and it takes an Aggie bounce and will go into the end zone. Now the timeout. We'll break. A&M by 3. Aggie band lining up in the end zone to the north, end zone to the south, the Arkansas Razorback band.
Ron, I wouldn't be surprised with just 2:09 on the clock that they try to strike and try to go deep with the pass.
Hill breaks it out across the 40, but this is going to come back. A flag is down, and it was thrown by the umpire, and that 99% of the time is going to be offensive holding. You see Richardson's reaction. That's going to be the call. Let's go back to Tim Brando for an update. Tim.
Well, the update is your travel schedule along with Mike Godfrey. So let's tell you what you're going to see on Saturday next week. Syracuse, who beat BC today, will be on at 4 p.m. Eastern time. They'll be taking on West Virginia, and then Miami against Boston College. You and Coach Gottfried will get a chance to see the #1 Canes at that time. Coming up at halftime, we'll tell you what's wrong with the bowl system because of Miami's win.
Well, Tim, I'll tell you one thing. The Boston College coaching staff have done what I think was one of the best coaching jobs this year. They took a ball club, and they had a very difficult schedule. Jack McNeil, I'm sure, left some very good players because I always liked Jack McNeil as a coach and gentleman, but this coaching staff kept that ball club together and won some big games here at the end of the season.
Aggie scrimmage from the 9 with the penalty, and they'll go straight ahead with about 3, maybe 4 yards. Ty Mason is there to make the stop. Yeah, Tim, I think you should know that when you made the announcement, Mike was clicking his heels here in the booth. He loves Logan Airport.
I'm ready to go to Boston. Can I leave tonight? As soon as this game's over, I'm headed east. My producer told me I could leave now if I want.
Your nose is growing. 1:15 remaining until halftime. 15 carries, 40 yards now for Hill. Doug Carter, and it costs him up by bringing the fullback, and Kirk Collins has to make the stop. It's still going to be shy of the first down, and the Aggies now will look at a 3rd down and 4. They need the 30. And R.C. Slocum's doing just what he wants to do, really. He doesn't want to have to punt. He'd like to run this clock out.
And they're also facing the clock, 46 seconds.
Three for 32 yards for Doug Carter. Carter again, he got tripped up, and I mean literally. Ireland got a hand and a foot out.
Arkansas doesn't look like they're going to use a timeout to try to block a punt. Now they use it.
So let's take a break. 14 seconds until a halftime, and we'll be right back.
This Christmas, Tandy Computers, some of the best-selling PC compatibles in America, are on sale at Radio Shack. 4 complete systems with color monitors start at just $599.90. All come with 24 unique home organizer programs. The more powerful RLX system is the perfect home office machine. And with hard drive, it's just $1199.95. The Tandy 1000 family of computers. So easy to use, we guarantee success.
Radio Shack, America's technology store. You can do it with true value.
It's time to save on great stocking stuffers, like a 3-pack of Fuji 35mm film for just $7.27, and a Casio 8-digit solar calculator for just $2.99. Then get the compact Maglite flashlight for only $6.49, and a pair of Wells Lamont Grips Plus work gloves for just $9.99 at your local True Value, the neighborhood hardware store with national chain store buying power.
Oh, here we go!
Good job, baby. Zombie blitz! How you like me now, baby? Got good life insurance? All in one word!
David Davis has punted twice tonight. His average is 60. His longest is 72. Arkansas with the pressure on. Not quite as good a kick, but he still gets it to turn over. Good open field tackle at the 38-yard line as Michael James is going to be stopped there. Coming up at halftime, Tim Brando and Lee Corso will give you the latest update on games in progress, and also they'll recap today's College Football Saturday. That's all coming up in the halftime report. And of course, talk about the big win by Miami over the Seminoles of Florida State.
40-yard with a 9-yard return.
Adams will go down on one knee, and that'll do it.
They only had 10 players on the field, so I didn't think they were going to try to throw something up there.
It is halftime. And as they head to the locker room here at Kyle Field in College Station, Aggies 6 and Arkansas 3. And Mike, Jeff Gowan, our producer, and Chip Dean, our director, you and myself were just talking. We're trying to remember the last time we saw a football game where nobody had a passing yard in the first half of play.
Well, I can't remember one, but both teams need to throw the ball, and especially on first down. But A&M more than Arkansas. Arkansas is doing exactly what they want to do. But when you run the wishbone, you start making the other team count their possessions and be a little bit more conservative.
All right, what does Arkansas have to do to keep things going in the second half?
Just continue to play the way they are on defense, but you see they said here they need to run to the unbalanced side, the wishbone offense. You're going to see them run to the right side with the option. Believe they need to come to the short side a little bit more in the second half. You see they have a little bit of success on this play, gaining some yards against a tough A&M defense. Just continue to play the way they are, try to mix in a few trick plays, and look for a big play.
Well, the Aggies are on their feet here in College Station. But this kick is going to quiet the crowd because it goes 12 yards beyond that end zone line. Take a look at the first half stats. And the numbers here are a little bit... Look, 0 for 1 passing for Arkansas. 0 for 4 for Texas A&M. Total yardage, Razorbacks 80, A&M 125. A time of possession, Mike, in a half that took about an hour and 3, maybe an hour and 4 minutes. Part of the chemistry is going right for Jack Crow.
That's the big stat, but I still look for A&M to open it up on first downs.
Greg Hill will take it for 5 tough ones. Ty Mason, 46 at middle linebacker. Senior from Decatur, Illinois. Starting tonight, replacing Mick Thomas in the middle. There to make the stop.
Arkansas has the quarter with the wind, a little bit of a wind advantage to their back. A&M would throw into the wind.
You know, both of these punters have been so outstanding. The wind has not been a factor with them. As far as kicking into it, I should say. Look at Arkansas defense jumping around. Mackenzie Phillips got an arm out and tripped up the ball carrier, and it's going to be third down A&M. And you have to think that particularly with A&M working into the wind, They need 3 yards right here. That this would be a very big stop as far as momentum for Arkansas if they could force the Aggies to kick.
Big play both for the offense and defense, but Arkansas is able to get their defensive linemen up the field against the deep pitches of A&M on offense.
Aggies need the 30. Richardson has that. +5, +10, +15.
Bucky Richardson, the man that has to do it for Texas A&M tonight. Here you're going to see their option. Watch the guard, number 51, John Ellisor, make a big block. Now Bucky Richardson's not sure to pitch it or whether to keep it. Just keeps running like a running back and is finally tackled by Orlando Waters, number 33.
8 carries, 68 yards for Richardson. Incomplete. Mitchell is the guy that he wanted, and we still don't have a completed pass.
Unbelievable in college football that you would be at this stage of a game and not a passing yard. It's a credit to both defenses.
Oh for 5 with 1 interception if you're keeping up with Bucky Richardson. With a couple of tough ones, and he takes it to the 47-yard line. And now the Aggies will look at a 3rd down and long, and to pick up the 1st down to keep this drive alive, they got to go to the vicinity of the 44-yard line of Arkansas.
I don't know what's going to happen in this football game as R.C. Slocum is making his play call, and you have Joe Kynes on the other side, defensive coordinator. But this game is just unfolding the way Arkansas wants it to. And Texas A&M's running the football. It's become a run football game.
2 of 8 on 3rd down conversions for the Aggies. Richardson going to run it. All the way down inside the 40. Waters tripped him up, but another 1st down for A&M and Bucky Richardson.
Texas A&M went to the 1-back set, which means they were spreading out the 4-3 defense of Arkansas. Bucky Richardson sets up the pass, doesn't see anything. Now he becomes a Tom Matty again, the running back. He turns on the jets, runs for a 1st down, picks up good yardage, finally tackled by 16, Darwin, Ireland.
Greg Hill a couple of times looked as though he was dead in the water, gave a spin move and a dead leg, and wound up with positive yardage. Tyrone Chapman defensively for Arkansas.
It's amazing how a game unfolds when you know the strategy involved and you watch both these teams in their previous football games. And Texas A&M's been a wide-open football team. They've thrown the ball well all year. They're a powerful running football team, and they have the weapon and the option. Arkansas defensively has really played well on their side of the ball.
Nice play defensively. 16, Darwin, Ireland. You could see him creeping up to the line of scrimmage, played off the block, and then made the tackle by himself.
What Arkansas made sure of on this play is they were going to take Bucky Richardson out of the play. On the option, they made sure they assigned somebody to him, brought him down on a stunt so that they were right on Bucky Richardson, forced him to pitch. Darwin, Ireland, number 16, was out there to make the play.
3rd down and 10. The line to make is the Arkansas 29. From a shotgun formation, Richardson will be sacked at the 48-yard line, and I believe it is Henry Ford, 92, the first man to get there to him.
Joe Kynes happy because he knows when you force an offense into a 3rd and 10 situation, get him in the shotgun. Now you can turn your defensive lineman loose. Watch number 92 eventually come into your screen. It's going to make the tackle on Bucky Richardson.
3 kicks averaging 54 yards for Davis in the first half as he kicks this one into the wind. Fair catch is signal for, and then runs away from it, and that will go out of bounds inside the 14-yard line. So let's take a break. Aggies still lead by 3.
Introducing the Bud Light Jaguar Racing Team. Catch it this season.
Let's go. All revved up and ready to go.
How do we get the truck back? Throw it in reverse.
Let's go.
Aggies were a 24-point favorite coming into this game. Right now they're hanging on for dear life to lead by 3. Okay, the Razorback running game has not exactly intimidated Texas A&M, but so far it has served the purpose for which it was put in for tonight.
So true. They're just looking to pop some type of big play. Field positions in the favor of A&M defensively.
Offense.
Mercy Slocum with a quick drink as we look at the possessions by Arkansas in the first half. 5 plays in punt, 6 in punt, and 3 in a fumble. They got the field goal on their 6th possession.
This is where, if you're Texas A&M defensive coordinator Bob Davie, you want to cause a turnover. You want to try to force the action. Bring in your outside linebackers.
Adams maybe to the 11-yard line. It's Jason Atkinson who gets out there to make the hit. The really tough thing against this Aggie defense, and it is one of the very, not only best, but one of the quickest in the country, is on lateral movement like that, you're just not going to get much on them because they can run with you every step of the way.
Sometimes when they're so quick, they may overrun the fullback, or they may overrun the quarterback, or they may open a seam because they are so quick. There's Bob Davie, a graduate of Youngstown State University. Played for Ray Dempsey at Youngstown as a tight end. Doing a fine job here as a defensive coordinator.
Jackson hit by Jason Atkinson, and it's going to be 3rd down Arkansas, and they need about 10, maybe 11 for the first.
Ron, I thought Jack Crow, when we were talking with him the other day, had told me this. He said, Mike, let me just tell you one thing. This is a temporary solution, what we're doing tonight. You make sure you say on the air that this is temporary, because I'm recruiting 2 of the best passing quarterbacks in the state of Arkansas. He says, so you make sure you get that over the air.
Don't let them think we've gone to the run. Quarterback draw all the way. Oh my, redraw it. There is that quickness I'm talking about. Otis Neely, the junior out of Lamarck, the outside linebacker on the right, is there not only to solve it, but to knock him down for very little.
Otis is just happy to be playing. He's finally playing against a team that runs the football, so he gets to play this week. Watch number 56 come from the outside, beats the block, now comes back and makes the tackle on Gary Adams on the quarterback draw. They're so tough against the run.
Rather is kicking with the wind, and because of that, Kevin Smith has dropped off. Thinking of dropping, he drops the snap, and he gets a beauty away. Smith all the way back to the 28. Arkansas with great coverage downfield. Mike, let's take a look at the national leaders in rush defense.
When you win, and when you win successfully, you stop the other team from running the football. I think this is a very important stat. Washington only gives up 62.1 yards per game rushing, 10-0 record. Clemson, with such great defensive personnel. Florida State, Oklahoma, and then, of course, Texas A&M.
With tonight's rushing yardage, Arkansas has managed but 86. The Aggies 158. Chapman is there to put the stop on Hill. He'll have a gain of about 5. You can see that Greg's almost lost his name tag on the back of his jersey there. I think everyone knows him at the party, though.
Been a hard-hitting football game. Both defenses have hung in there, played very strong on their side of the football.
McKeon comes in at tight end again. Big freshman out of Willis, number 88. Richardson going to run and closes up in a hurry. That's a good open field stop by Ty Chapman, number 47. Looked for the world as though Richardson was going to have a big running area to the outside, and it's going to be a third down. Switzer was applying pressure, number 53. Let's see, for the Aggies, they need about 3.5, maybe 4 yards.
The key to the defense tonight for Arkansas has been the linebackers. Ty Mason, 46, Tyrone Chapman, 47, Darwin Ireland, number 16. Done a fine job of covering on the pass and then breaking on the football and stopping Bucky Richardson.
Shovel pass. Greg Hill. Boy, that's a tough play. Ty Chapman makes the stop, but it's a first down +6. The great thing about the play, Mike, is you throw it in traffic. Even if it goes to the ground, it's an incompleted pass. It's no fumble.
That's the run and shoot screen pass. Watch Bucky Richardson. He's just going to flip the ball to number 27 to the left. They just let the defensive end come in. Now the linemen release downfield. They're downfield early on that play. Ty Chapman, 47, makes the tackle. Run and shoot play.
That's the first completed pass of the night. That shovel pass. And Greg Hill has gone out favoring his right arm. Richardson, incomplete. Well, let's look again at Greg Hill. They are tending to him on the sideline. He came off holding it, either looked like his wrist or anyway, he was surrounded there on the sideline by the training staff. Boy, he is obviously in some kind of pain. Keith McAfee, the senior out of Sugar Land, Willow Ridge, just south of Houston, number 5. They go with the option. Richardson wanted to pitch, probably should have. Mick Thomas held on to him.
I can't tell you how impressed I am with the Arkansas defense, because Texas A&M, because of so many weapons, and Bucky Richardson, the experienced quarterback, they're throwing so many things at the Arkansas defense, but they keep hanging in there and making plays and forcing long yardage situations. Joe Kynes, the defensive coordinator, looks on.
Pressure coming up the middle. Richardson sets, throws it complete. Ryan Matthews for the first down.
A&M finally got Bucky Richardson outside on the sprint out pass, and were able to get the ball to Ryan Matthews, number 81.
Mike, this is twice in the ball game that the Aggies have come up with big plays on third down, and they have erased it with penalties. This one will come back. And let's go down to Adrian Carson and get an update on the injury to Hill.
Here is the injury to Hill, Ron. Hyperextension of his right elbow. He also has a very deep right laceration on his right elbow. We spoke with the team orthopedic surgeon. Whether he goes anymore in this game is a series-to-series decision by the coaches and the training staff.
Putting alcohol or something on that laceration to his arm. Well, this could be an expensive ball game to Texas A&M, the all-time leading freshman ball carrier in the Southwest Conference.
Talk about a big pass play here by Bucky Richardson. The same thing they did on the play before. Now they went to the deep route. Brian Mitchell. Bucky Richardson rolls to the right, but watch the safety just underplay it a little bit. Michael James, number 7, was in good position, but just leaped a little too soon. Watch him. Just a little bit too soon. There's the catch made for the big first down.
Mitchell with 26 yards. Counter with the option play, and Richardson will wind up with 3, maybe 4 yards. Scott Long, one of the first men there to make the hit.
Passing game eventually will open the running game of Texas A&M if they can get their passing game established.
You can see Mississippi State is leading LSU. That game has bowl implications.
Well, I think Arkansas, from talking to their coaching staff, they're still alive in the bowl. They need to win one of their last football games to maybe be pitted against Georgia in a bowl game.
Richardson on a short drop. Gets it away. He just throws that one away. Coming up at the end of the ball game, Mike and I will be picking Visa players of the game, one from each club. Bucky Richardson, certainly one of the candidates for Texas A&M. I'll tell you who else is. Atkinson on defense, at last count, had 8 defensive stops for the Texas Aggies.
Both teams, you're right. Both teams linebackers. You take Atkinson's having a good game. Ty Mason, 46. Tyrone Chapman, 47. The Arkansas linebackers. It's been a linebacker football game.
Ireland has 9 tackles also. Look at this drive. 3 minutes and 20 seconds, 8 plays.
Look for the rollout to the left.
Ryan Matthews.
Same play, Ron. Roll out to the left. The formation, they offset the fullback, which was a little bit of a tip that they're going to go to the left side with the sprint out to get Bucky Richardson away from any kind of pressure. Now here's the throw to number 81, Ryan Matthews, the same route they just hit for the big first down. Curtis Banks, 23 on the tackle.
And Richardson will call a timeout. So with 4 minutes and 47 seconds left in this third quarter, Texas A&M still leads 6-3, but they're driving. It's a doubleheader for next week. West Virginia at Syracuse in the Carrier Dome. And Mike Adrian and I will be in Boston for the Miami-Boston College game.
We'll get to see the #1 team in the country. This defense had their back to the wall the entire night. They played well.
10th play of the drive coming up for A&M. Richardson will keep it, and he'll be stopped at the touchdown.
Gutty run by Bucky Richardson. He wouldn't allow himself not to get in the end zone. R.C. Slocum's happy there. They ran the option play, which is tough to defend in a goal line defense, and he just forced his way in the end zone. Watch him come out. He's carrying this one all by himself. He's the catalyst of this football team. Watch him just keep pushing with his leg strength, trying to get that ball across the plane. Either Snorton or they're throwing Cotton.
Extra point is good, and I think it's Cotton. Texas A&M now goes on top by a count of 13-3 as Bucky Richardson pushes it into the end zone and will take a timeout with 4:40 left in the third quarter. Aggies lead now by 10. Jeffrey, ball is loose. Arkansas will retrieve it. Now let's get that soundbite from R.C. Slocum as he talks about Bucky Richardson and his leadership ability.
Well, I think that when you start talking about leadership and evaluating and measuring leaders, the true measure of a leader is how he affects those around him. And Bucky Richardson has had a tremendous effect upon this football team. And when he's out there, he not only makes plays himself, but all those around him play better because of his presence and leadership.
Well, it's hard to argue with the performance he's put on tonight. 230 yards total offense now for the Aggies in Arkansas with 86. It's Kerwin Price on the carry for the Razorbacks, and Quentin Coriat is there defensively.
Bucky Richardson, the only game that A&M lost. They lost to Tulsa. Bucky Richardson did not play. Coach R.C. Slocum was talking about all the lessons learned. They talk about poise, holding the lead, and at halftime of every game they talk about remember Tulsa.
See Coriat coming on the blitz, and as soon as Price got the ball, he was right there.
When you get a lead on a wishbone team, even though it's only a 10-point lead, you can cut your defense loose a little bit. Watch number 44, Quentin Coriat. Blitzing, coming inside, making the tackle on the fullback before he can get to the line of scrimmage. Kerwin Price. Gives you a little more flexibility now on defense. And if you're Arkansas, you don't want to get too fancy right now. You're still in this ball game. You don't want to cause a turnover.
That's Kroon. That's what I was referring to a while ago, Mike, as far as lateral pursuit on the part of the Aggies. Further you take it to the sidelines, they just think the game gets a little bigger.
I'm impressed of how they have adjusted tonight, Texas A&M, to a new offense, the wishbone, and how well they played against this. It's a credit to the defensive coaches and Bob Davie, the coordinator.
Rated with an average of almost 47 yards a kick. That is truly outstanding. Kevin Smith fumbles the ball at the 22, and he will pay for it. 50 yards in the kick. So Ray, they're kicking above what he has averaged for the ball game, which is outstanding. Well, after this game, we'll take you out to San Diego's Jack Murphy Stadium for the wax battle for first place between Ty Detmer's BYU Cougars and the San Diego State Aztecs. Holiday Bowl berth is on the line. It's tonight at 10:30 Eastern Time, right here on ESPN.
Ron, Tulsa must have a good football team. I haven't seen them play this year, but they're so deserving of a bowl. I've watched their scores, and if you can beat Texas A&M, I don't care if Bucky Richardson plays or not, you got yourself a fine football team.
Anytime you score in the 30s on a defense like this, you can make things happen. McAfee. Let's go down to Adrian Karsten for an update. Adrian.
Well, Ron, as Mike just said, I think one of the reasons A&M is playing such fired-up football right now, because something I've been hearing on the sideline since halftime. Remember Tulsa. Remember Tulsa. Of course, they're talking about that second game of the year when they lost to Tulsa. Otherwise, they might be playing for the national title. Remember Tulsa. I'll tell you something. Nothing's been remembered so well in this state since the Alamo.
Be a nice song, Remember Tulsa. Country western song.
14 yards of that last carry by McAfee. Keith, the senior, he said, out of Willow Ridge High School. McAfee again. Boy, he got caught in an uncompromising position there as far as though he might have gotten his knee twisted a little bit as Chapman and Mackenzie Phillips there to make the stop.
See A&M in the second half now with 57 yards rushing, but the two big plays have been two sprint out passes that Bucky Richardson has been able to throw the corner route. The last one to Ryan Matthews.
Now Greg Hill is still on the sideline and they are handing the football off to him. So I don't know. That's a chance to take. You got a quality back in McAfee. This is Carter, the fullback. And Tim Brando. Let's go back to him for an update. Tim.
It's getting from bad to worse for USC. Watch quarterback Rob Johnson near the goal line. He stripped of the ball. It's recovered by Darrell Morrison for a touchback. Arizona leading 24-14. If SC loses, it will be their first 7-loss season since 1957 when they went 1-9, Ron and Mike.
Tim, the defense of Texas A&M taking over here at Kyle Field. In the third quarter, total plays, A&M 22, Arkansas, only 7 snaps from center.
There's a linebacker.
On the sideline.
That's right. That young man will go high in the draft.
McAfee cracked hard at the line of scrimmage. That's Henry Ford, the sophomore out of Fort Worth, who steps up to make the tackle on him. And the Aggies are going to have to kick it away. In fact, Davis will have to kick into the wind. Although he really hasn't had a problem getting it away, Arkansas still wants him to kick in that direction. So they will call a timeout with 10 seconds remaining in this third quarter to make sure that he does not get to kick it for the win. Ricky Richardson talks it over with his offensive coordinator on the sideline. He brings so much to the table as far as this A&M offense is concerned. And Mike, we talked early on about the different dimensions, whether they want to run option, they want to go pass game, or if they just want to go straight ahead with the power. But what you mentioned is all the offense that he has in his noggin that makes a difference. And of course, it's not Granger's fault that he is very young, but it'll take him a time to build up a wealth of knowledge which his counterpart has.
Well, you're right. When you have that experienced quarterback, it allows you to do so many things. And tonight, as you look at this game plan unfolding, the A&M coaches know how well they're playing on defense, and they know that Arkansas can't move the ball. It doesn't look like they can get the big play against them, so they're playing a little more conservative on offense, letting their kicking game enter the game, and just letting their defense take over.
Well, as we have mentioned several times, the punters tonight have been outstanding. And Davis really has negotiated the win well. This one hangs up there. No fair catch is called for. Now here comes the flag. Maybe he had signaled for a fair catch. There's a late flag came down at the 42. Against Arkansas, and with that, the end of the third quarter. So they're standing here at College Station. Tonight, a victory would clinch the Southwest Conference title. Come back for the final 15 in a moment.
Sony Trinitron XBR television. Simply brilliant.
Power. Applied intelligently, its effects are magnificent. Witness the Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. Powered by the world's largest 24-valve V6 engine and an electronic transmission. It's a car designed to provide a more intelligent standard of performance, measured not simply in miles per hour, but by a slightly different gauge. Miles per gallon. Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and going.
The Black & Decker Air Station. It has all the pressure you need to inflate anything. Fast. The Black & Decker Air Station. Always at your service.
At Thrifty Car Rental, we know traveling on business has its good points and its bad points, its ups and its downs. So to make those trips a little less hectic, we at Thrifty offer an extensive choice of vehicles at remarkably reasonable rates. Because no matter how much money you make...
You all set, Mr. Goodsey?
It is, after all, your money.
Well, we're back. There will be one untimed play because that penalty was against Arkansas. And the ball has been pushed back to the 17-yard line. So there'll be one untimed play. They'll take it to the other end of the field, and we will not take another break because we just took care of that business. Big opening for Bradley, and he takes it out to the 37-yard line. And let's go back to Tim Brando for another update. Tim.
Ron, you know, you guys have been mentioning Louisville and Tulsa. Let's talk about Tulsa. 40-0 they win today. T.J. Ruby, another big day. And the game that's going to follow yours between BYU and San Diego State, the winner of that game will go to the Holiday Bowl. But the loser of the game that you see over my shoulder will be taking on Tulsa in the Freedom Bowl to be played in Anaheim. Another great year for Dave Rader, the youngest Division I head coach.
You know, Tim, and that game stands, I mean, if the loser's going to play Tulsa, the way the Golden Hurricane can put the points on the board, that seems to be a wide open and fun affair. Freedom Bowl.
A lot of points. I like it, the fact that the Tulsa gets to go to a bowl game. I think when the season opens, that every team has a dream of going to a bowl. Tulsa now has made that dream. East Carolina has made that dream. And that's why I'd like to see the bowls stay open a little longer so that everybody has a shot, because we don't know who the best teams are sometimes. And we don't get to see a Tulsa on TV. But I'm happy for the Tulsa team and their coaches.
Well, Mike, as we head into the fourth quarter here, this year the Bulls were going to use restraint because of the heavy fines that were going to be levied. And, of course, we all know that the Bulls have been worked out. And, well, anyway, we'll get to that a little bit more in just a moment. One in particular I wanted to ask you about. Adams will keep it. And the man they nicknamed Peanut will take it up to the 40-yard line.
You know, if you have a quarterback and he's a peanut, his nickname Peanut, he's going to be an option quarterback. He's usually not going to be a drop-back passer. But Gary Adams has really handled himself well tonight in Jack Crow's offense.
$15 carries for 27 yards for Adams. Now the Aggies are feeling it here at Kyle Field. If they win this one tonight, they have 2 more games left, but this one would clinch at least a tie for the conference championship. Adams, Coriat, one of the first men out there to make the hit. And it's now going to be a 3rd down and about 6, Arkansas.
One point I want to make, and I know the Arkansas fans that are watching tonight, and I keep looking for a reverse or pass, but, you know, they're really limited of what they can do tonight. I just can't imagine in 1 week's time the offense that they put together. They played well tonight. They've executed, and their arsenal probably is not as big as it would be if they'd had a longer time to prepare for this game with the wishbone.
But it's 5 yards or more. Arkansas is 0 for 6 on 3rd down conversion. Incomplete. That was Tracy Caldwell that they were looking for. Kevin Smith was covering.
They're trying to roll Gary Adams out. Just good coverage by the defensive back. Kevin Smith, the All-American candidate, 6 foot, 180 pounds, just blanketing the receiver.
Punts for an average of 48 yards a kick. See what he can do into the wind. This is a low-line drive. Smith runs away from it, and it's going to cost the Aggies some good field position, but I would imagine that's what he was instructed to do. Here's the storyline in this one so far, following that 51-yard punt. A&M, 10:39, 3rd quarter time of possession. They turned the tables on Arkansas. Richardson, 106 total yards, 1 touchdown. And total yards, Arkansas 113 and the Aggies 250.
Just becoming conservative on offense. A&M running the football, running the clock, playing to their defense.
R.C. Slocum has to be breathing a sigh of relief on the sideline once he found out that Greg Hill was even contemplating coming back into the ball game. This is McAfee. I think you got to go along with this move. I don't think you can take a chance on losing Greg Hill for another game, or particularly for the remainder of the season.
No, and Keith McAfee, who's 6'1", 200-pound senior, he's been waiting his turn at Texas A&M for a chance to play in this football game. He's been very effective for him this year and a very capable replacement.
In fact, probably had it not been for an injury just a week before the regular season started, McAfee probably would have been the starter in that opening game. Scott Long comes up to hit McAfee on this play, and he will take it to around the 15-yard line.
It's a rivalry that's lasted a long time. And of course, Arkansas now moving on to the SEC. You know, that's a little part of this ball game tonight. You see Bob Toledo, the offensive coordinator. I'm sure the A&M coaches have talked about the fact that they're not going to play Arkansas again. Same thing on the other side with Jack Crow and his staff talking to his team.
McAfee with an average of 5 yards per carry. 5 times he's carried for 25. Ball is fumbled and picked off by Arkansas. Orlando Waters takes it right out of the air after Short coughed it up.
Well, you play opportunity defense, and that's what Arkansas has been able to do. Bucky Richardson with a good pass. It was just a little delayed to the back coming out of the backfield. There you see Bucky Richardson with a drop. Here's the throw. The tight end, the back cleared. Greg Short, 86 with a reception. Ball popped out. Orlando Waters, number 33, with the fumble in the air, and now Arkansas with excellent field position on the 20.
Little counter play. It'll go for a couple. That's Quentin Corey out there to wrap up Tony Jeffrey. This is the closest that Arkansas has been to the goal line tonight, Mike, as they have it inside the 20-yard line of A&M.
Yardage is going to come tough from this point on because of that big front of Texas A&M and the active linebackers that you see.
Jeffries puts a head down and then gets shoved back by about 7 Texas Aggies. Quentin Coriat is down at the bottom of that pile. Let's see. They will give him forward progress to the 14.
We talked about number 44. Watch him step up, the linebacker, take on the block, the offensive guard, and then make the tackle.
Coriat now with 16 tackles tonight. Third down Razorbacks. They need the 10.
Got to get the ball out in the corner some way.
Make it 17.
He trailed the option play and made the tackle. They were trying to get the ball out to the short side on the corner, but Quentin Coriat, watch him, number 44. So quick, he steps up, now trails the quarterback on the option, was not blocked, was not picked up by a guard, makes the tackle.
Buckley's got to be saying, hey, that's what I normally have happen. I'm unblocked. Todd Wright to attempt a 32-yard field goal. Off to the right. .9:55 left in the ball game. There's Quentin Coriat. I mentioned a while ago that we have the Visa players of the game from both sides. All precincts are not reporting, but I'll tell you what, I think he's going to get my vote tonight. 17 tackles for Quentin. But we still got a lot of playing time left. Richardson, 83 yards rushing, 57 passing tonight. He's had a good evening. This is McAfee. Whoa. He started north and then wound up heading back south. Ty Mason with the stick. Mike, let's look at the percentages. They moved in the goalpost, and, you know, this played a very big part this afternoon. Bobby Bowden could be on the way to his first national championship if those goalposts were not moved.
I wonder how many games were decided this year because of the moving in the goalposts. But the biggest difference is in the 30-39 yard range.
That's where his kid missed, too.
Down 12%. In the 40-49 yard range, where 95 less attempts. Coaches are going for first downs more, punting the football.
Richardson barrels his way for the first down across the 30. The bowl game I was going to ask you about is it looks as though that the Sugar Bowl is going to stick by their guns after Notre Dame got clobbered today, and they've got 3 losses. If I'm Steve Spurrier, I'm not happy about that.
Well, if he had a shot at playing Miami in the Sugar Bowl, he still would probably be alive in the national championship race. Right now, I don't think he has much of a shot now, and maybe other people do, but because of his matchup, if he could have played Miami in some bowl, in the Sugar Bowl where he has to go, then it would have given him a better opportunity.
Good hit, good hit.
Well, that's number 27. Greg Hill has re-entered the lineup after injuring his right elbow.
Amazing thing is that when Arkansas recovered the fumble and started on the 20-yard line, 4 plays later when they kicked the field goal, they're back on the 20-yard line. A&M going the other way. Here's a trick play.
And about the only people that are tricked were the Aggies. Owen Kelly makes the stop. Greg Hill was the ball carrier.
Trying to get some cheap yards, but A&M's defense responded to the challenges. Here's the trick play. Quarterback Bucky Richardson has the lineup, just pitches it out, but Arkansas wouldn't hear it.
Well, the swinging gate, I guess Nebraska's one of the first teams I ever saw run that. They may put that one back up on the shelf for a while. They ran one successfully against Baylor this year. Shovel pass. Hill and hang on. To the 33, Banks knocked him out of bounds.
It's a run and shoot play, and that's why it opens, is because the lineman on the snap of the ball released downfield, just like it's a screen pass or a draw type play, and you let the defensive end come in. Watch Bucky Richardson. Watch him not block anybody outside. They commit themselves, and there's a pitch. Now look at all the linemen are downfield opening up the hole for Greg Hill. Here's another look. Watch Bucky Richardson. Watch the defender come up, number 16. Darwin Ireland, nobody blocks him. All the linemen are downfield, and it's really a tough play. When that works, it looks like $1 million. When it doesn't, it looks like a nickel.
In fact, the shovel pass was the first completed pass that we had in the ball game tonight. Greg Hill gets treated very rudely by Ford and Long on that one as he tries to go right up the middle.
Haven't been many big plays in this game tonight. It's been a game of field position and working the chains and working the clock.
Arkansas making their last stop in College Station as a member of the Southwest Conference. Razorbacks became a member in they played it for the first time in 1914. Richardson, great ball fake. And he gets racked out of bounds on the near sideline. Ford and Long again.
Good coverage. We talked at the start of the show tonight about the 2 deep coverage. What that means, 2 corners are up on the wide receivers, and they force them outside and force them to try to reroute them, and their safeties then pick them up, and they've just done a fine job in coverage tonight.
7:08 to play in the ball game. Aggies by 10. Richardson zips it complete at the 20-yard line to Tony Harrison. First reception for him tonight.
That's where you hit 2 deep sometime. I was just talking about the corners pressing the wide receivers. Now watch Tony Harrison get behind the corner. Now he lets him go. Now he kind of sits down right in the hole. Now here comes the safety, number 29, Kirk Collins. Those are the type of routes you have to hit against 2 deep.
Richardson will have 5 tough ones. And Tim Brando has an update for us. Tim?
The Aggies may be going to the Cotton Bowl. Jackie Sherrill took them there a few times. Mississippi State's Mike Davis gets into the end zone, and our reports are this should free up the Liberty Bowl to invite the Dogs to meet the Air Force in the Liberty Bowl on ESPN. Jackie Sherrill going bowling the same time the Aggies go bowling.
Thanks, Tim. Well, Bucky Richardson may be shaken up a little bit. And that has drawn Obviously, a lot of attention here at Kyle Field coming off on his own. So there's a timeout on the field. He's tough as a boot, but he's going to come out of the game right now. We'll be right back. The Aggies did call a timeout. Richardson can come back on the field, which he has done. Mike, in the second half, Arkansas 13 plays. A&M has had 34 snaps on offense. Straight ahead with Carter. He got tripped up. In fact, his guard, who was coming across on the trap, took his feet out from under him.
Again, the penetration of the defensive front. There's a time of possession in the first half, nearly equal, and Arkansas accomplished what they wanted to. In the second half, close, but yet the Texas A&M defense has just dominated Arkansas in the second half. Big play again, starting on the 20-yard line, not being able to come away with any points.
Bob Toledo, the offensive coordinator here at Texas A&M, looks out on the field as this team right now about to put their 10th play of this drive in motion. And Greg Hill will be in the vicinity of the 6. He's close, but I don't know from where they're marking it. Ty Chapman is at the bottom of the stack, sophomore out of Dumas, Arkansas.
I think you go for this one if you didn't make the first down.
Well, it's fourth down.
R.C. Slocum wants a measurement, but I don't believe he's going to get one.
Okay, you had them reset the 25-second clock. It is fourth down, and they need just under a yard.
3 points really doesn't help them here. They need to try to get the first down, try to go in for the touchdown.
Richardson on the quarterback sneak. He might have gotten it on the second effort, but he didn't get it on the first one. And you can see from where that official is coming from the far sideline, that doesn't look like he made it. Mackenzie Phillips is at the bottom of the pile, and A&M was stopped.
A good defense by Arkansas. 46 Ty Mason. Again, good penetration on Bucky Richardson and the A&M offensive line.
.503 to play in this one. A&M up 13-3. And they have been a little frustrated tonight, but I'm not sure they should have been. Arkansas came in here with a really good game plan, and defensively, I think maybe they have played a little better than A&M expected. New quarterback, Wade Hill.
They'll try to open it up a little bit now and throw the football. This is A&M's game now.
Sam Adams is on the bottom. 44 Coriat is on top.
Ball carrier number 22.
Reason I felt like they really should have went for the first down is Arkansas still needs 2 scores to beat them. Now Texas A&M can play a little different style defense with the new quarterback Wade Hill. Now look for Marcus Buckley, number 9, to come out of that weak side.
Wade Hill is a sophomore from Waldron. Came to school on an academic scholarship. He has just been put on an athletic scholarship. Bradley will take it maybe for a couple of yards, and that's about it. As Atkinson and Coriat will combine in the stop. 4-point student is Wade Hill.
Now you're going to, I think it was the ESPN Student of the Year a couple of years ago, right?
I think that's right, yeah.
And now, keep your eye on number 9, Marcus Buckley.
See the pressure up the middle, and that pass is thrown well short. And now it's going to be a fourth down. So for Arkansas, they tried a new wrinkle in 1 week to put in the wishbone. They slowed down the Aggies tonight, but they have not been able to halt them. Barry Switzer told me before the ball game, he said, Ron, I did the same thing in 1970 against Texas, but I had an extra week to do it. He said, I also had Jack Mildren, I had Pruitt, and a guy by the name of Wiley. And he said, I had to get the hands in some other people, the football in some other people's hands that were great athletes.
He might have been able to put the single wing in with those guys.
Oh, this is a good driving spiral by Rather. Smith lets it go. So we'll take a break as the ball goes dead following a 45-yard punt. Aggies by 10. Aggies, and why not? 3:41 to play, and her guys are on top by 10. And if they win this one tonight, Reveille and the crew are just one game away from seizing the conference championship. And Mike, in the preseason, they were picked number 3 and by number 4 as far as a lot of people in the Southwest Conference. That's the way they thought they would finish. And let's go to Adrian Karsten and get an update from him. Adrian?
Well, Ron, Harold Horton is a career recruiting coordinator for Arkansas. You've been with Arkansas 24 years. Now, all of a sudden, you've got to start recruiting a new part of the country. How are you going to do that, Harold?
Well, first thing we need to do, we need to win some, but we don't intend to change our recruiting method or recruiting areas. We intend to continue to come into Texas and recruit because and continue to recruit our own state of Arkansas and the other bordering states. Plus anyone else who wants to come to the University of Arkansas, but we have a great university and a lot to offer.
They play a different brand of football in the Southeast Conference. Arkansas ready to take that on?
But we have a ways to go as far as getting some personnel. We need a few more players, but hopefully next year we'll be able to meet the challenge.
Good luck with that, Harold. After 77 years, Ron, tradition comes to an end here.
Yeah, it goes back a distance. It really does. So that's what the alignment will be like, as Arkansas will be in the West against the likes of the Crimson Tide, the Auburn Tigers, LSU, Ole Miss, and Mississippi State. And, of course, they are longtime rivals of Ole Miss. That one goes way back even to before the Johnny Vaught and Frank Broyles days. So that is a familiar setting there as far as either going to Jackson, Oxford, Fayetteville, or Little Rock. Straight up the middle with the fullback. And Carter finally stopped by Collins.
Just a little belly play to Doug Carter. Just a quick hitting play. Kirk Collins will make the play. Watch, just a quick handoff. Linebacker overruns it. Number 48, Nick Thomas. Carter with his excellent speeds in the secondary.
Six carries for 51 yards for Carter. Keith McAfee runs into Carter. Carter was trying to block for him. Banged his teammate in the back at the 37-yard line. Ray Lee Johnson is there to make the stop. You know, the other point about Arkansas going into the Southeastern Conference, they may be down a little more than usual in football, but, you know, Arkansas, as far as an all-around program, they have been in the top 10 in the nation as far as 10 sports. When we go track and field, tennis, golf, the gamut. They're very good. So we'll take a break right here. We'll come back and talk more about that. 1:46 left in the game. It is the Aggies 13-3. To behold. Well, you could see the left guard Tyler Harrison came out of his stance early. Coming up next, the college football scoreboard show.
Ball, false start, offense.
Ron, Jack Crowe's a graduate of Alabama Birmingham, so the SEC Conference, he's familiar with that area. Gene Bartow, who's the basketball coach and athletic director, started football at UAB this year. And they've played this year, and their goal is, I believe, to go to Division I and play Division I football. But Jack Crowe, as I said, familiar with the SEC growing up in that area.
Birmingham native. Yeah, he said yesterday that would not be anything new to him. McAfee with a really nice effort. Orlando Waters finally brought him down. Personalized license plate that said Aggies win. Bucky Richardson. Again, what a fine evening for him. A couple of individual efforts that really have kept big drives alive for Texas A&M. And they're going to win this. And as far as the statistics are concerned, they'll win it decisively, but because of some really good extra efforts by Richardson, the Aggies got into the scoreboard. A&M now 213 yards. That is for Richardson, I should say, and 1 touchdown.
He's to his team, Ty Detmer is to BYU, Casey Weldon to Florida State. He just really is what makes this team go.
Little wing reverse. Well, Ronald Thompson, the freshman out of Groveton, and we saw him against TCU last week, and Mike, we commented on the fact that, wow, this guy is the #3 tailback in high school, 8,400 yards for him.
When you look at your third-team tailback, now watch him. Now, this is what depth that Texas A&M has. Stumbles, falls down, runs over somebody, gets a tackle to grab a hold of him and carry him for another 5 yards. That's pretty impressive.
Another thing that Barry Switzer said before the ball game tonight, he said, Ron, I think that the rest of the Southwest Conference has allowed A&M to get such a stranglehold as far as recruiting. And if they get another good class this year, he said the rest of the conference better hang on for a number of years. Carter, the fullback. Well, let's update the Southwest Conference standings. A&M will be 6-0, 8-1 overall. Texas 4-2. They're 5-4 overall. Then Arkansas, Baylor, and Texas Tech. Spike Dykes and his crew with a big win today. A surprise as they knocked off the Baylor Bears.
Really like to see a team like Texas Tech come on at the end of the season. Gives you hope. Look, the spring ball. The Cottonhead right there.
Richardson will go to one knee. And you see the cotton flying here at Kyle Field. They have not won it, but they have clinched at least a tie. And the Texas Aggies need a win next week over SMU, and that will put them in the Cotton Bowl on January the 1st, 1992. Well, the final score is Texas A&M 13 and Arkansas 3. And tonight's visa players of the game are, for the University of Arkansas, Tyrone Chapman, number 47, 12 tackles, 8 of those were solo. And for Texas A&M, Quentin Coriat, number 44, 20 tackles for him, if you can believe it, 14 of those solo. And as part of their continuing effort to further the development of amateur athletics, Visa is proud to donate $1,000 to each of these universities and $1,000 to the U.S. Olympic team on behalf of these athletes.
An impressive performance again by the defense of Texas A&M. And as you said, they have 2 ball games yet to wrap up the conference and then play Florida State in the Cotton Bowl.
Well, once again, the final score, A&M 13 and Arkansas 3. Stay tuned for the college football scoreboard, which follows next. And now for Mike Gottfried and Adrian Karsten, I'm Ron Franklin.